Last night, I felt a lot of really heavy emotion coming through, and intuitively, I feel that some of this heaviness is connected to some of our collective here, particularly those of you who resonate with being part of the divine feminine collective. So I'm going to shuffle the cards and pull through a few messages to get us started here in today's reading, particularly for those of you who may have been at some point recently, and I use that word recently to refer to the last most likely few days prior to when you find this video, when you align with this video, because of course all of these readings and videos are timeless. They are meant for you when you align with them, because time does not exist at the level of energy. But whenever you are connecting with this video, it may be because you've been, I'm hearing, going through some profound changes at a really deep spiritual level, but these changes are highly disruptive to your physical 3D mind, body, and emotions. I keep hearing the word ascension connected with however you may have been feeling recently, and I also heard ascension through connection. So what this tells me is you may be someone who is on some type of spiritual path that has you profoundly connecting with someone else, another incarnated soul who you are very much spiritually connected to. And it's through this connection that your spiritual awakening most likely was ignited. And since that point of meeting, since that awakening that happened through that meeting or connection, I feel as though you've then gone through this, my guides are saying, fast-tracked process of awakening, of ascension, because it was and is necessary that your awakening, that your ascension be moved along so quickly as it has been and as you've been feeling it, because of something that collective consciousness is going through as well. Because collectively, I feel that around the time you spiritually began to awaken, there was a lot of heavy energy. My guides are calling it a tipping point on the planet, in planetary consciousness. And it's as though your soul volunteered to awaken during a very difficult time for the purpose of shifting the tide of that collective consciousness into a more awakened state of being. And you are really leading the way on this, which is part of why you're feeling what you're feeling so intensely. Most souls will never choose to go through, to undergo this kind of very intense, very rapid-paced spiritual initiation process like what you've gone through. And with the card, "You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north." I feel that during this awakening process, and especially recently, there have been many times where you have felt intensely alone. And for some reason, the word misunderstood is coming through here as well. So you might feel as though others simply do not, I'm hearing, don't want to understand the spiritual path that you're on. They do not want to open their eyes. They're not ready yet at that deeper level to really fully see you in your brilliance, in your radiance, to see you for all that you have been becoming and have already become through this ascension process. I keep picking up on someone who might feel as though they can only reveal certain aspects, levels, or layers of themselves to people around them because I'm hearing my guide say they're ready for a slice, but not the whole cake, which is kind of a weird metaphor, but it's as though the people around you, for the most part, would be overwhelmed or completely incapable of seeing you for who you really are at every level and layer, for your fullness, your completeness. And because of this, they choose to see only certain aspects of you. And sometimes this might leave you feeling as though everyone has a piece of you, but no one sees all of you. And it can be very isolating to feel so not completely understood, so not completely seen. And this heavy energy that you may have been feeling, particularly recently or the last few days, could have really brought you to your knees. I'm hearing that it really may have pummeled you. It may have brought up a really visceral, raw, emotional reaction within you. And another card we have here is perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. So I'm also picking up that this heavy energy coming out recently may have caused you to fixate or focus upon one specific thing in your life or about yourself that felt as though or feels as though it is out of your control. It is not something that you know how to deal with, that you know how to control. You're feeling overwhelmed by this particular thing. I don't know who I'm speaking to here. This might just be for a group of people, but for whoever this is for, this thing that you have been fixating upon feels highly specific and, of course, personal to you. So take this as it resonates. For some of you, I'm hearing this may be a relationship or a connection romantically to a particular person. And in those cases, we have the card empathy. So it's as though you're saying about this situation, I wish it was more clear cut, but it's not black and white. My connection to this person is extremely complex, convoluted. Other people don't understand it. Sometimes I don't even feel like I fully understand it. And what makes this even more challenging is I feel this person's energy constantly. I'm picking up that you are a highly empathic, highly sensitive person with this empathy card coming out. And it makes this particular connection or relationship challenging, especially because there does seem to be a profound soul bond, which of course leads to even greater energy exchange between two beings. And in your case, you already are picking up a lot of energy, even in non-soul-based connections and relationships. So the fact this person is also a soul connection means you're feeling their energy to an even heightened degree. But I do feel that this connection has been ongoing. It's been complex, convoluted, and there's a part of you that's been trying to work it out through the mind. Again, just for whoever I'm speaking to here that is particularly dealing with a romantic connection in this case, I'm picking up that for some of you, this feeling of fixating on a particular thing that you're trying to work out through the mind might actually apply to other things as well, or instead of this particular connection. So always take these messages as they connect with you personally. It's my goal through this channel and through these videos to essentially take you on a journey within yourself, and through that journey to help you reconnect with your intuitive voice within, because that is really the compass of your life experience. That is your soul whispering to you through those feelings of resonance, through those intuitive impulses. And I felt guided to say that just now because this is an art. that many of us are learning. And my guides are reminding me it's not a science, it's an art. Learning to live in alignment, learning to embody these higher levels of consciousness while still being incarnated in a very dense physical form is a balancing act. And at times, through this journey of ascension and spiritual awakening, you may have found, again, particularly recently, that things have felt out of balance. My guides are reminding me, just like riding a bicycle, you keep moving forward, but sometimes you'll kind of veer to one side, sometimes you'll kind of tip to the other side, but overall there is balance, there is motion forward. That is like you at this moment on your spiritual journey through this life. There may be times when you are tipping to one side, tipping to the other side. And in this case, I feel that those sides, quote unquote, in this metaphor. By the way, I just saw the number 1133. I feel like that's significant for someone. I will get back to that in a moment. But these sides that you might be tipping to are representing 3D consciousness and 5D consciousness. And the thing about being a path forger as you are, I see you literally right on the forefront of major transformations that are taking place. I'm just seeing like this entire crowd of people pushing forward along this path, and you are there like this warrior at the very front of this crowd. And what that tells me is your soul is leading the way for a collective consciousness. For some reason, I'm picking up something about you being a protector and defender for a soul group or a soul cluster as well. So consciously or unconsciously, people around you may perceive you as being some type of leader, having a leadership energy. And this is because your soul volunteered to be a kind of, again, protector, defender, leader for a particular soul cluster. Now, when I say soul cluster, this is a portion of your more intimate soul family. When I say more intimate, I mean more closely connected to you by frequency, meaning you share a very, very similar core soul frequency. In this web of collective consciousness, we are all connected or apart from one another based on our frequency, and therefore we are all connected by certain degrees, but others we will be closer to in this web of consciousness, others we will be further away from in a sense. But these are people who are very tied in. They're right next to you in that web, and you all incarnated here together. And you are leading the way, protecting, defending, stabilizing this soul group. It's almost like you are kind of encircling them with protection, energetically, spiritually, making it safe for them, or making them feel safe, feel comfortable to express their own authentic soul self, to begin to expand and grow spiritually. Because I'm picking up as well these cluster souls around you that may actually be part of your soul family. Although they share a similar core soul frequency, many of them have been living in a lot of fear programming. And in fact, if you have soul family, soul mates, as we say platonically speaking, incarnated in your physical 3D family, for some reason, I'm particularly hearing family. This could be siblings, parents, grandparents who are also part of your soul family. Many of them are living in a lot of fear. And specifically, they are afraid of being different, of being thought of as weird, of being fully seen, of really going for their dreams in life. And you are leading the way for this group consciousness to essentially carve out this path to higher level consciousness, to embodying higher vibrations and aligning with more of that true soul's blueprint, that most authentic self, that template for our most authentic self that each of us carry within. Wow, so many beautiful messages coming out for you today, Divine Feminine. If you are connecting with this reading today, I will be channeling more messages about your role in this so-called cluster or group consciousness, how you are leading the way, forging this path for a family, a community, some type of cluster of souls around you. And in addition to that, I will, in the extended reading, also be channeling higher self and spirit guide messages for you to guide you along this very convoluted path that you may feel you are walking. Particularly, we will be focusing on whatever that thing is you may have found yourself fixating upon, whether that's a relationship, a connection, something in your life. For some reason, I'm hearing this may be something you're trying to change, fix, or get out of. But that urge to change, fix, or get out of it is your ego reacting to fear of the unknown, of what is going to happen as this deep process of transformation and energetic alignment perfectly lines things up for you through the unknown, if that makes sense. So again, those additional channeled messages will be in our beautiful Patreon Soul Tribe. If you do feel guided to that, the link to the Patreon reading will be in the pinned comment and description box under the video. For now, I'm going to reshuffle some of the cards here. And I feel that so far in this reading, we've been channeling a lot for the Divine Feminine. So I now want to switch over to the Divine Masculines and channel some messages for what the collective Divine Masculine may be going through. They're in the thick of the void because we have the void card in the reverse position. And I feel that many of them have been in their physical human form, trying to resist this voidedness. In fact, if you are a Divine Feminine and you are soul connected in physical form to a physically incarnated Divine Masculine counterpart soul, we sometimes call these twin flames, you're going to be feeling this even more intensely in the form of actually experiencing the masculine trying to resist their own voidedness. Again, that ego death happening within them at times. Of course, there's no resisting this at a higher self level. It's an inevitable process. And of course, as we channeled earlier, a balancing act as well. So it's perfectly normal and natural to tip from one side to the other. But I do see that at times the masculines are very afraid and fighting this emptiness that they are recognizing within themselves, that they are allowing themselves to feel, but that has always been there, that they are beginning to see, they are beginning to realize how empty and voided they've been feeling all along. And you, Divine Feminine, might be feeling this either from a twin flame counterpart soul, if you are on a twin flame journey. If not, you may still be feeling this as you empathically absorb it from the Divine Masculine collective consciousness. And what you might be feeling is, I'm hearing weakness emotionally, feeling brought to your knees. Again, some of those heavy emotions we channeled earlier may actually be some of what you're picking up unconsciously from the Divine Masculines. You might at times be feeling this urge to go back to places that you can't return to. I don't know why I felt guided to say it that way. And if that message is for you, you will know how this connects. So for some of you, this could be the temptation to return to old patterns of familiar patterns of control, because In control, there is limitation, but there is also knowingness. There is also familiarity. Control is how we did things in the past. If we wanted something, we became hard set on it. We created a very controlled, calculated plan. We enacted that plan and we meted out for ourselves small. Of course, they may have not looked like small results from a physical 3D perspective, but your guides want you to know that at a higher self level, these results stemming from control mentality, fear mentality, were very small compared to the unlimited reserves of power that lie within your cells. And you have tasted that power, Divine Feminine. You are again leading the way and tapping into the deep reservoir of this power. This is the power of alignment, the power of flow state, the power of molding the energy that creates worlds instead of trying to control and operate entirely through the visible realm, through the physical 3D action-orientated world. This, again, is an art, not a science, but the ego wants it to be a science. The ego wants to know, if I do X, I get Y. And if I don't do Z, I get Q, or whatever the case is. This might be in some form what your, this empathically absorbed energy, whether it's from the collective, I almost said collective unconscious, but that's not really true. The awakening collective, the collective in the process of awakening, is in this back and forth energy. And again, you are leading the way. You are on the forefront of this. You have really learned to begin stabilizing some of that 5D consciousness. You've begun to learn how to create from flow state, how to align and mold the energy first, and then allow the action to flow forth naturally from that powerful, intuitive place within yourself. And I'm getting that when you spend a lot of time alone, it's a lot easier to stay in this solid bond with your own 5D consciousness to really fully embody this and practice this. But sometimes when you are out and about around other people, you empathically pick up on some of their limiting beliefs, some of their fear consciousness. And of course, on the other side of this coin is that with whale and orca elders, share your song, frequency of sound. Yeah, when you are out around other people, whoa, this is a powerful download. You might feel as though, and you are, empathically absorbing some of their limiting beliefs, some of their fear consciousness. But know that in those moments, they are equally empathically absorbing some of your unconditional love consciousness, some of your freedom consciousness. And this is the path of the warrior. This is reminding me of what we said earlier with you being this protector and defender. What you're really protecting is this budding knowing within you that's beginning to take root of how it all really fits together, how it all really works from a higher perspective, from a spiritual, energetic perspective. You are stabilizing your knowing that everything is vibration, frequency, and energy. And that when we are present fully with ourselves, we are able to access the highest potential of that deep energetic reservoir within ourselves. And as you solidify that knowing, as you essentially protect that knowing, defend that knowing by continuing to move forward along that path, by not allowing yourself to go back fully into fear consciousness, into limitation consciousness, into conditional love consciousness, you are empathically sharing this higher level frequency with the collective. And you are making a very profound ripple effect impact that is actually shifting the tide. And you play such an essential role in all of this. And sometimes you might be really hard on yourself because you feel the way that empathically being around others living in fear may affect you, but in doing so, you forget that your higher level vibration is a gift to them, is affecting them as well. You are a teacher and an uplifter to the very deepest core of your being, and you teach, you uplift simply through the courage of your presence, the courage of being present with others, whether it's strangers at a shopping mall or someone you pass on the street or family or your friends, whoever it is. You teach and you uplift through the courage of the presence you share with others as you continue to boldly stand in your higher level knowing, to hold that frequency. When you hold those higher frequencies, you're actually holding them again for a cluster of souls, for a collective consciousness. Wow, very beautiful messages coming through this reading. Yeah, the card Earthed, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. One of those feelings that some divine feminines may have been feeling recently is quite literally not belonging here, and wanting to go home, feeling like an alien on this planet Earth. And let's see if I can pull some more cards for you. Okay, we have the Envy card. Yeah, I see this card actually being equivalent to lack, although this may be triggered reactions of lack from people around you, limitation, which essentially jealousy, envy, those things that we tend to externalize as, oh, I'm jealous of this person, I'm envious of this person. It's really just emotionally manifested lack consciousness. It's the belief that we within ourselves can't be, do, or have something that that other person is, does, or has. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because you might at times trigger reactions of lack from other people around you that may manifest as envy, as jealousy. Particularly, I'm seeing this divine feminine from other feminines you may interact with or that you may see or that might be in your life. At times, this might be very difficult. It might make it very difficult to forge strong bonds with your feminine soul tribe because you are, I'm hearing there aren't many like you, to put it plainly. And I'm not saying this for some type of an ego trip. It's just that you carry a very unique frequency. And again, you're on this leading edge, this forefront of a collective awakening. You have a lot of spiritual work that you're doing, so you really only have space in your life for connections that serve your spiritual path, that are uplifting in some way, that are very intentional and on purpose for you. And at the same time, this powerful frequency you carry naturally triggers a lot of lack consciousness in people around you. And again, this could manifest as envy or jealousy. You are here to show what is possible when you live in alignment. You are here to show what it looks like when one is fully tapped into that limitless reserve of power within them. And because you are here to show and to teach and to lead, at times naturally you might feel alone, but know that there are others like you. You are not alone. You are divinely, perfectly placed in a space, in a region, in a location where there might be at this moment a lot of unconsciousness that I could refer to as darkness, but really darkness is just the absence or the lack of consciousness. And you might feel at times that you are in this place, but you are divinely placed here because the light serves the greatest benefit in the darkest spaces. And also because you knew at a soul level you were capable of continuing to shine in this darkness. You are a very ancient spiritual being with a lot of soul history, and you incarnated here with a lot of intentionality. You may have been someone who from a young age always had this feeling of restlessness, like there was something you came here to do. And that restless feeling was how your conscious mind was interpreting this very profound and focused soul intentionality. And you are now fulfilling those intentions again through the light of your presence here. So, wow, thank you to all of you who are tuned into this reading, who are quite literally co-creators here, co-manifesting all of these messages, all of these pieces of information. I know that if you aligned with this video, you are a powerful spiritual leader in the place you are planted, and I honor you. I honor your mission. I am sending you an immense amount of love and light, and I hope this reading helped to remind you of that power within you and of who you truly are and why you are truly going through what you are going through at this moment. If anything from this reading did connect with you on a personal level, I would love to hear from you. You can write me in the comments under the video if you feel guided to it. I invite you to subscribe to this channel if you do feel a resonance here. The link to the extended Patreon reading, where I will now be channeling much more in-depth guidance for you, Divine Feminine, messages from your guides, from your higher self, messages about this spiritual path of leadership you are on at this moment in time. And I also feel that for those of you who are connecting or connected with a particular divine masculine counterpart soul, that there will be specific messages regarding his current life path, what he is currently experiencing, feeling, thinking, how you might be empathically absorbing that, and how that connection is interrelated to your ascension path. So more information on that, of course, is in the extended Patreon reading linked in the pinned comment and description box under this video. A huge thank you again to all of you gathered here energetically. Again, time, space, distance do not exist at that level of energy. So we are all connected here and creating the future of this channel together. So I am so grateful to all of you, wishing you a beautiful remainder of your week. And I will talk to you again in Friday's reading.